welcome to this 3D modeling workshop where I'm going to show you how to create a lightsaber in Fusion. So hopefully this workshop is fun. I did this for May the 4th, so Star Wars themed. So hopefully it'll teach you how to use Fusion for all the beginners, and for anyone else, it'll teach you how to make a lightsaber that you can 3D print. So let's get started. If you want to follow along, or create your own lightsaber, I have the files that I used in the workshop here with this QR code, so please feel free to download what you need. Also, I'll provide the link on the YouTube video, and you can download it to your computer. So welcome to this workshop from a galaxy far, far away. So yeah, I'm gonna do a quick introduction of myself. I'll talk about what you're gonna learn today, and we'll build a lightsaber. And just so that you could see the lightsaber, here it is. So I 3D printed this. If I press the button here, if it's let me see, it might have ran out of time. So yeah, you see it lights up. So this is pretty cool. I could change the color, make it do this. So right here, if I press the button, I can make it go red. If I want to be a Sith, maybe I want to be a Jedi, go green. And then I just hold the button to turn it off. So basically what I did was I 3D modeled this, and then I added the electronic components to the inside from a toy that I bought. So, I mean, that's just one way to do it. They do sell kits, and I have the links at the end of the slides where you can buy some kits to actually 3D print a lightsaber and make your own. But anyway, let's go on to the next slide. My name is Alvaro Alvarez. I'm the Innovative Media Librarian at Orbach Library. I do a lot of consultations, programming, and outreach around the Creator Lab, our makerspace. I have my email here, alvaro.alvarez, if you need to get a hold of me. I want to do a consultation on anything related to the makerspace. If you're working on a project, research, even the workshops, past workshops, this workshop, I can assist you. And here's my Calendly link. Calendly, you can book a time with me, 30 minutes to an hour, and we can go over your questions. So Fusion, I really like it because it's easy to navigate. It's code-based. It's good for parametric modeling. I do other modeling like organic modeling and like Blender. So it just depends what you're trying to use it for. Today, the main objectives for this mission is you will learn how to use reference images to start a CAD design in Fusion. Also, you will learn how to sketch within Fusion, how to use some of the basic sketch tools, and just understanding the basics of drawing and creating like the shapes and extruding. So if it's flat, you want to extrude. If it has a round surface, you want to use the revolve tool. So understanding the basics is going to help you with your CAD modeling future. And I guess if you want to create your own image for a lightsaber too, you can use AI, or if you know how to draw, you can use any drawing program and just draw it out to use as a reference. So like for Gemini, that's what I used for this reference image. I went into Gemini, it uses Nano Banana, so that is a image generative design process. So it I provided an image of a lightsaber, a Lego lightsaber. I gave it a prompt to give me a quick reference image of the side, top, and back view. Then once it generated the image, you can see that it gave me a basic design, very detailed too. But then you can keep customizing it by giving it more prompts. You could tell it to remove things, add things, correct it. So basically, the more detailed the prompt at the beginning, the better your results you're gonna get. But don't worry if you don't give it a good detailed one. Sometimes it works from a simple one. Sometimes you need to kind of guide it a little bit more. But anyway, once you have your image, we could get started. And let me go into Fusion. I think that's where we are going to start. So again, the slides, if you have them, they'll have all the steps that I'm going to go over. So you'll be going through step 1, step 2, step 3. There's 3 steps that I did for this. So the step 1 is just like setting up the image. Then step 2 is the sketch, and then revolving it to make the solid object. So let's see. And here is Fusion now. So to get started, I am going to go to the top, and I'm going to let me see, not insert, so construct, inspect, where is it? Insert. Oh, it moved over here. So I think I'm in assembly mode. So let me start over. You don't want to be in assembly mode. So I'm gonna go to new. I'm gonna go to part design. Assembly mode is if you already have a bunch of different parts ready to go and you want to assemble it in there, that's where you would go to that. But I'm creating a part from scratch, so I'm glad that I was in that, so I can kind of explain the differences. So I'm going to go into part design. That way I can create the part. And then hybrid is if you have the parts, but then you still want to create a design within that. So that's when you would go to hybrid. But for this one, I'm just going to go to part. I'm going to click on that, create new. So now you see everything changed. So don't panic if you see everything a little different from mine. You're probably just in the wrong mode. So make sure you go to the correct one. We want to make a part. And you can see the differences when I click on the tabs. So I'm going to just close out this one and stay in the one that I just created. So now I can go to insert, and it's up here. I think you could do the canvas, so that'll bring in, like, you could see the image right there of the car. So someone imported an image of a car as an example, and then they drew the car around it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to insert from computer, and then I have my reference image here. So it's gonna ask you to select the face where you want to insert that image so that you can reference it from. I'm just gonna click on there on that plane, and then you can go to front view, and you can go here, and you can adjust it if you need to. I can go to the top view if I need to move. Let me see. I don't think I need to be in that view, but yeah, you can move it around if you need to with this. Right now it's really tiny. You can see it's on millimeters, so I can make it bigger, maybe like 400. And that's in the X, so let me Control Z it. And let's see. I think it's 400 by... Yeah, so another thing too, make sure you know the size that you want. I don't remember what the size was that I did for my lightsaber, but I'll just do... I'll manually enlarge it a little bit just to see. So, yeah, so you could see if you do it this way, it's a proportional way to do that. It's just gonna keep enlarging it. It's not gonna deform it. So I'm just using my mouse to hold shift and move the image around. So the middle button on your mouse and shift will do this, like the pan view. And then you can zoom in and out with the wheel. You can also use this to move around. And then the zoom option is down here at the bottom. You can click on these to help you as well, whatever you're more comfortable with. So here I can just do like 400, and then that'll be proportional. So it'll do it like for both the X and Y. So let's see what I looks like. And there you go. So I'll just keep it that. So I'm going to hit OK. That'll be a good size just to show you today how to do this. So let's see. And again, the sizing is going to depend on what kit you're using. So like for this one, I just based it off the kit that I had. So it fits the buttons that I was going to use, and the length of the board inside, and the hilt is just the right size for that. But if you, depending on the kit you get, you're going to have to do some measurements just to make sure that everything you model is correct. And don't worry, you're going to have a few iterations of it. The first step to finding out if it's if all your tolerances and everything is right is printing it. Every printer is different, so you might have to adjust that little by little. It took me like 3 iterations of it to get it right, so hang in there. So this is the first step. We have our image. Now we want to start doing the sketch. Just pretty much think of it as I'm gonna get a pencil and I'm gonna start drawing around the image of the lightsaber. So to do that, in Fusion, whenever you want to start a new sketch, it's on the top left. You click on Sketch. Click on the same plane that you used to put the image on. That way you have your view to that. And then I'm just holding Shift middle button to move this, center it a little bit for myself. Now I'm going to use the line tool. So the line tool and all these tools over here to create are what you're going to use to create your sketches. Today we're just going to use this one in the, I think the rectangle, or I think we're, maybe the circle. We're not going to go into all the other ones. But yeah, for this, you just want to first draw a center line. That center line is what you're going to use as your axis to revolve around to create your lightsaber. So from here, you want to keep using the line tool. Make sure that you hover over the little dot and you'll see a little square box. That'll make sure that it's linking your lines or connecting your lines. If not, you're not going to be able to use any of the functions. It's going to have a gap. So I'm going to left click and then just start kind of following the line. I'm going to go fairly quickly. You could take your time and make it more accurate. So you see, I'm just drawing, and what happened there was that check mark check. If you see that little check and you click on it, like if you go to it, it'll just exit out of the tool. You can also hit escape to get out of the tool. And then if you need to adjust, just left click and drag, and then you can let go and you can adjust those points. So I'm going to go again to the line tool, keep drawing, and I'm going to zoom out, hold shift middle button to just keep going to this side. And from here, I'm just going to do this part, and you see it, that little checkbox was in the way again. So don't worry, just keep clicking on the dot and continue drawing. So now we are finished with that initial part. So you could see that it's grayed out. If it's not grayed out, that means there's a gap somewhere in your drawing. So you'll have to like zoom in and find it. Once you find it, just use the line tool to connect and bridge that gap in the line. So now the next step is we want to use the revolve tool. So remember I mentioned if it's flat, extrude, or if it's curved, revolve. So that, remember that's going to help you. And I'm going to go to solid, extrude, and then I'm going to click on this. So you see, because it's all connected, I'm able to click on that profile. If not, it wouldn't let me do this. So once I click on that, oh, actually, I'm so sorry, not extrude, yeah, revolve. Sorry, I just finished telling you too that if it's flat, extrude, if it's round, curved, revolve. So the revolve tool, so that one, it's also in the solids, and it's this one up here. So you click revolve, axis. So it's already selected the profile because I clicked on it, which is the half of the hilt. So then the axis, I want to click on that, and then just click on that line, that middle line, that first line we drew, and now you see it. It made a revolve, a revolution around that line. You want a new body, hit OK. So now we have our lightsaber. So we're almost done there. Yeah, it's like pretty simple design. Over here, really quick, in the design tree, whenever you create a new body, you're gonna see them come up here. You can rename them by double clicking on them. Keep organized. If you want to hide it, you can hide it. The canvas, you can hide it too if you don't want to see the reference image anymore. And from here, also the sketches, if you want to bring them back, like you want to see the sketch again, you can bring it back, or you could double click it to go back to it and make modifications. Also down here is your history, so you can always go back to another point and drag this little icon. I don't know if you could see it. You might not be able to see it, but it's in the bottom. And then when you drag it, you can go back kind of back in time to make changes and correct things. So now we have this. Let's see. should, unless I did something to erase what I did. No, it's good. Okay, so now I'm going to do a couple more things. I want to add these pieces right here. So to do that is, again, I want to create a new sketch. It's very repetitive, so I'm going to click on create new sketch, or I can go back to this sketch as well, but I'm just going to do another sketch um, to do that. And then I don't see the planes, so the origin, you can see the little eyeball. If I click on that now, I should be able to see the origin planes over here. I want to click on the same one that I used to start the sketch for the lightsaber. The reason for that is that it's going to be right in between for me. So it's going to be where this line for the reference image is. So that way I can create that piece and extrude it on both sides. So I'll show you in a little bit what I mean on that. And let me hit home, front view, quick way to regain the view you want. So again, if you don't know already, we're going to use the line tool again. Very repetitive, like I mentioned. So I'm going to click here, just highlight the area like that. And I'm just going to go all the way down this way and close it there. And then I'll hit escape to exit the line tool. So now you see if I click on this, I'm going to click on this tube, drag it just to show you what I'm going to do next. So now I'm going to click on that profile, go to extrude. And you see the arrow? I want to go both ways. So I want to go to symmetric on direction. So now you see two arrows. So now I can make it the length I want. So 50, 100. So let's say I want it to be like 70, I see. Yeah, that's a good amount. I don't want it to be cut. You see that it's red. If I do that, it's going to cut into the bottom of the lightsaber and create like a little hole there. But if I want it to join it, now it's going to be part of it. So you see now it's going to be like a nice solid piece there. So again, I'm just going to make sure it says join, symmetric, both directions. 70 is what I use. You could do whatever you want. If you want it a little thicker, hit OK. So now that we have that, you see there should be 3 more of these around the bottom part of the lightsaber. So to get those, we're going to use a tool over on create under pattern, and we're going to do the circular pattern. So the circular pattern, that'll help us create just patterns around that axis that I'll show you right now, which one to click on. So object, right now, since it's a piece of this body, I can't use bodies. So I'm going to use features. And then by using that, I can click on that that piece that I want to create the pattern of. So once I do that, the axis that I want to use is this one. So when you click on that, you see if I do 3, it'll create just 3 of those. If you want 3, that's fine. But if you want like more, you just keep increasing the number. Let's make sure that everything here is exactly like mine. Unless you want more or less, and then I leave it at identical so they're spaced out correctly. You can adjust it to however you want as well. It's your lightsaber. Once you're happy with that, hit OK, and now we have the pretty much those pieces of the lightsaber. Oh, so the only thing left to show you now is couple things. If you wanted to make holes for your like board, kind of like mine, let me show you. So I have these little holes here for the buttons and the charging port. So to do that, I would just create a sketch, kind of like what we've been doing so far. Let's see. I have my origins. They're all okay. It's down here. So hit create sketch. You can just go to the same plane, and then you could just pretty much what we've been doing. If you needed the holes here, you would just kind of draw a hole, and then again you would just go to solid, extrude, and then you would just extrude that out. If you're not able to highlight it, just hide your body. And let's see, it's not letting me click. So let me hit finish sketch. And I think the canvas is in the way. So there you go. So I'm going to click on that one. So now I have that. I could hide the other sketch too. I think it was getting in the way. So I can bring back the body and then just extrude to whatever direction you need it to. I'm going to hit E on my keyboard. And if you see when you extrude it out, it'll create a hole. I would do this probably, you can do it now or wait till the end. But for this, you will have to measure exactly where the holes are and depending on the board you're using. So I'm not going to do it now, but I'll leave it there just to show you how to do it. And let's hollow out the inside of this. So I'll show you how I hollowed out to make all the different pieces. For this part of here where I added the lightsaber piece, it was pretty easy. I just measured the diameter of this and then of the tube. I went to the front, clicked on this, hit create sketch. Then I, depending on the diameter, go to the middle of your circle here. So it should be right here. And then just type in the diameter of the plastic tube. Once you have that, you could do a solid extrude. Click on that, and then it's pretty much just going in here and extruding out to wherever that ends. But again, I would do that at the end after I show you how to do this next part, because we are going to separate it into 3 pieces. That way you can hollow this out and also these parts so that you can add like the speaker. You can add this piece at the end. So let's see. Cancel. And I'm going to go this way. And let's see, let me hit home. Okay, we are good to go. So now let's separate the bottom piece from this piece as well. So let me see how I did it. Oh, okay, I cut it a little bit higher. Okay. So let's see, depending on the parts that you have, I'll just show you on one side. You're gonna do the identical thing to the other side, just to save time. So I'm gonna click on this profile right here, this face. So I'm gonna separate it here. So to do that, I'm going to go to, oh, let me finish sketch, sorry. So I'm gonna click on this. I'm going to go to modify, and I'm gonna go to split body. So this is going to create a cut. So that's going to separate this body into 2 now. So I hit OK, and you see over here under bodies I have 2. So I have the main body here and the top piece. And let's say I'm going to separate this one for you too, so you could see how I'm going to do that. Because it's a little weird. Click on the profile again. This time I'm going to do construct offset plane. This is just going to create another plane for me to select to make the cut, or make a drawing if you wanted to add any more pieces to your lightsaber. So you can do it right around here. I'll cut it at that point, hit OK, and then same process, you go to modify split body, and then you should be able to click on this one. So actually, ooh, does it let me splitting tool and then body? So you see that red circle now popped up. So again, you just have to click on the correct one, and now I have 3 bodies. So now, depending on the components you have, if you have a speaker, you can go over here and hollow this out, make the hole for the speaker, over here for the tube, and the last piece I want to do is create threading. So let me show you on mine. That's the way I did it for mine. You see, if I twist, I have threading. That's the way I did it to combine them. I mean, you don't have to. You can just glue it if you want to do it quickly, or just do it by pressure, like have one insert into the other one and glue it that way. It's up to you. I did it this way, just to show you how to add thread if you needed to for a project. So let's get started on that piece. So to do that, I am going to, let's see. I'm going to go to this piece and make a drawing on this end. So I'm going to hide the other two bodies. And then I want to rotate to this end. So I'm going to click on that box. And I want to hide some of these sketches. I don't want to see that. And I'm going to primarily focus on this piece right here. So let's draw. And again, this circle is going to depend on how thick you want this outer wall to be, your components, so that they fit inside. So you're going to have to do some measurements. So again, create a sketch. I already clicked on that profile, so it's going to create the sketch on that. So here, I'm just going to use the circle tool to do a quick circle in the middle. And then I'll just do it to, I'll do 250. I'll do 250. That's a good number. So 250. And now that I have that, let's click on it and let's extrude to hollow this piece out. So I'm going to hit E to extrude, go all the way through and cut. And now it's hollowed out for me. And from this point, I want to project that same circle I drew, or since I know the number is 250, I can just draw it out as well. But I'll show you the project tool, that way you could use it. It's very useful, especially if you want to make sure it's an accurate measurement and you're not off by like a millimeter or two, and then it throws off your entire project. So let me bring this back. And now I want to turn it because I want to draw a sketch on this face. So repetitive, like always, you click on that profile and create sketch. And then let me turn it so that I can see what I want to project. So I'm going to hide this piece really quickly just so I could project that piece right there, that circle. So I'm going to hit P on the keyboard for project. I can also go to create and then project and then project. So the shortcut's P, or just go to create and you'll see it there. Once you have that, you'll have this little window. You just click on that or whatever you want to project. And that's all I want. And I'm going to hit OK. So now you see that purple line? So now I'm going to hide this middle piece. And I'm going to bring back the other piece. So here, I'm just going to use this now to extrude a cylinder where I'm going to create the threads around for that end so that I can, kind of like a screw, I could screw it onto the middle piece of the lightsaber. So I'm just going to hit E, extrude it out as long as you want it. I could do 300 and I'll hit join. And we are almost ready to add the thread. So now I'm going to click on this profile, the round profile around that cylinder I just made. And from here, you just go to create thread. And you can see it kind of tells you what that does. Do that. And then depending on what you need, you can play around with these. I'm going to leave it at a default for now. But you could play around with this if you need a different type. You could click on the different, you see these are a little thicker. I could leave it at that also if I wanted to. And I'm going to leave everything default, but be sure you do click on modeled. If you don't do that, it's just going to project it to this, and it's not going to actually print it out when you go to 3D print it. So you also want to click on remember. Let's see. So if you don't click on remember size or modeled, it'll make it hard for you when you go to add the threads to the other hole. Because it's gonna, unless you remember what you did here. I mean, if you leave it at default, you should be good. But if you made any modifications here, it's not gonna remember it, and you might make a mistake. So remember when you're making your threads, two things: modeled, and remember size. Hit OK. And for this one, I want to create a little offset on it, because if not, it's not going to go in that. It's gonna be really tight. You're not gonna be able to screw it onto the other side. So to just create an offset for tolerance, just go over here to modify, and then you could use the offset face, and then just do -0.15 or 2. Um, Both of those will work, and that just kind of makes it gives it a little bit of tolerance to be able to screw into the other half. So once you do that, you're almost done with your lightsaber. So I'm going to hide this piece, and then I'm going to go to the middle part. I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to click on that middle hole. Going to go to create thread again, and it's in the middle. So a couple changes here. We don't want it to go all the way, so I'm not gonna do full length. I mean, if you wanted to, that's up to you, but I'm just going to make it go enough for my threading. So let's see. And again, that's going to be up to you and your measurements when you're creating your um, lightsaber and what components you're using. And I'm going to make sure it says modeled, and it should already be clicked to remember size. And I'm going to click on that and click on that. And I think I clicked on the wrong arrow before. So let's see. Let me cancel, try again. Cancel. I think I clicked on something else. Okay. Let me hide some of the things in case I clicked on like this construction. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, so again, I'm gonna go to there, create thread. And then click on that. And then you want to do that, hit OK. And then let me see what happened. It didn't add my thread. So let's see what I did. Create thread. Oop, I think that's what I did. I clicked on the wrong arrow. So let me control Z it. So if you make a mistake, just control Z. That'll take you back. I'm going to click on that, create thread. So that's the full length, which is not what I want. So let's see. Oh, that's weird. That's giving me this problem. Let's clear that out. Yeah, for some reason it's not letting me. Let's see, select the face. So I'll click on that. Okay, so this time I think it's working. Let's see. Yeah, I see it. So not sure why it wasn't letting me before. So I might have been selecting the wrong face. Let me go this way, and then yeah, you could see if I drag the arrow, and I think I could see why. It should be good there. Let me hit OK just to see what it does. And I might have clicked on like the inside. Let's see, Control Z. Let me see. Let me just do thread. I'll click on that. Okay, I see what I did. I might have moved it by mistake when I clicked the wrong arrow. So yeah, be careful not to move that. I think I moved this to the inside. So just use this arrow to have it on the edge over here on the side. I think I moved it inward. So yeah, just be very careful. It's always you'll make a mistake if you press something on your keyboard by mistake or you move something. So it's easy to make a mistake, as you can see, but don't panic. Just play around with it like I did, and then you'll get it. Or just use some of the resources online too. There's a lot of resources to help you if you get stuck. So for this one, I think I am good. I mean, I can extend it out a little more just to make sure, because I didn't write down the length of the cylinder I made on the previous model. So I'm just gonna hit OK. And now I am going to rotate this so you could see it didn't go all the way through. It's just at this end right here. And I'm gonna hold shift and again, if you want to do the same thing over here, it's just repeating what I did on this side and you should be good. And then remember I did a sketch before, if it's still here, for that middle piece, that little button part. Yeah, so I can bring this back too, and now I can start creating the holes for like the buttons and anything I need. So let me bring back the bodies so I can hit extrude and then I can make the buttonhole. Make sure it's set to cut. And let's see, I have this one hidden. So this side again, if you wanted to make the hole for the hilt, for the plastic tube on the hilt, you just click on the profile you want to create the drawing, create sketch, know the diameter, and Fusion will tell you where the center is because when you put the mouse over, it'll show a little circle. And once you're in the middle of that, you can draw your circle, hit E for extrude, and then extrude it. And then depending on what you want to do, you can extrude it all the way or partially. And here you could see that's like around halfway. If that's what you want, just make sure you hit OK. And you might need to add a little bit of tolerance again. To do that again, you can just go over here to modify offset face. You can use press pull. They both work the same. So offset face and then just do negative point, maybe like 1.5. That's what I like starting off with. Hit OK. And I think, let me see, let me control Z. So I'll do that again. Let's see, I can use press pull too, just to show you. So you see if I go positive, it shrinks it. You don't want that. So yeah, that's why I go negative 0.15. And let me do it again. I think oh, it's this first one that it is. So just do point negative 1.5. And it's just a little bit. Oops, I think I had two decimals. So yeah, let's see. Let me just delete that. Negative 0.5. There you go. Yeah, and you could see that's how I did mine, where it's just kind of pressure fitted in there. I did add a little screw right here to kind of lock it into place too. So again, you could just do that the same way you made this hole. You can create that sketch over here and extrude the circle to create that that hole for the screw. Depending on what screws you're using, yeah, you'll need to know the measurements of the diameter for that. But anyway, this is just pretty much the basics that you need to create a lightsaber. And again, depending on the parts you're using, you're gonna have to measure it out, draw it, or if you just want a lightsaber, ignore hollowing it out. If you don't want to separate it into parts, you don't have to. You can just print it as one big piece and then just add like the plastic too, and you have a lightsaber. So hopefully you enjoyed this workshop. If you have any questions, again, just email me at alvaro.alvarez@ucr.edu. Use my Calendly link to request a consultation with me, and I can sit down. I can go over this workshop with you. I can help you with your coming up with the sketches for your diagram if you need it for a lightsaber. And again, you could 3D print this in our creator lab. It's 12 cents per gram if it's non-academic. If it's an academic print for a project or you're learning something, then it's free. So take advantage of that. And thank you for joining me today. May the 4th be with you. And hopefully I'll see you at our next workshop here at the Orbach Library Creator Lab. Thank you.